Hey, what up, world? Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment clip. I'm the man here that keeps it all cooking wood. Hey, man, really appreciate all the recent new subscribers and whatnot. Appreciate that 1,000%. Always fantastic to wake up and hear some new hip hop, especially from some of the architects of the genre, especially in the boom bap subcategory of the genre. And last night I heard some new Gang Starr, and I guess this is going to continue to be a thing. The name of the song is called Bad Name. I kind of didn't understand like where that song title could be taking the song, but it's a dope song. One of the slick parts about it is with Preemo coming over from working on a couple of projects with Royce the 5'9", and those projects having their own sound. I think the first one was all original songs recorded by Andre. What's my man's name? He's a musician out of Los Angeles. It's not Andre Young, but that's Dr. Dre's name. But he has it's a similar last name, but it's a little different. But all of the material was like composed and arranged and played with live music, and then they just gave Preemo the tracks for him to make his samples out of. I believe that was the first one. But those albums have their sound, and they sound like they fit into what's going on today, and it sound like a new group. And then here with these last couple of songs, these Gang Starr songs, it goes back to the signature Gang Starr sound, but it's kind of refreshing for 2019. But this joint right here, it's only like one verse, I believe. I only heard it one time. One verse from Guru, the late Guru, and it's unbelievable or remarkable that he's been gone a decade now, and the song sounds like basically I can't even think of the J. Cole line, but he said the fake one's been winning or whatever. It just goes to reinforce that statement and how dope that line was. The BS has been winning for a long time, because that's what the song is about. A lot of the politics in hip-hop, just like politics in boxing, have been hurting, what a lot of us would deem as real hip-hop. And it's been happening for a long time. That's what the song is about. But like I said, these lyrics are over 10 years old. And it's crazy because Dr. Phil is mentioned. It's a couple of other subjects that are, it's a couple other references in the track or in the lyrics that I can't recall right now. But it just sounds like it was written within the last 2 weeks or something. Beat-wise, production-wise, nothing really new here. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's kind of that collection and that arrangement of samples that we know Preemo for. It kind of sounds like a couple of other songs that he's had here and there. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but it's still put together very well. The song in its totality is dope. It's fire, and it sounds like there might be some kind of Gang Starr full length or EP maybe, but some kind of Gang Starr project is in the works, it sounds like. I wasn't up. I saw some of the tweets or the social media stuff last night saying be on the lookout for something special tonight. Preemo has his own program on Shade 45 on Sirius XM. So I saw where he was releasing something. He was teasing. I saw the artwork for the single and whatnot, so I knew something new was coming. But like I said, on the backside of it, it sounds like more material is forthcoming, and that there could actually be some kind of album. Who knows how that's configured? Is it all old, snippets of this and that, or unreleased verses that he's found new music for, or new tracks to put over or under? Will it be guest laden, with a lot of features and whatnot? Who knows? But if anybody can pull it off, if anybody can make it sound right and still do right by the Gang Starr, the ball and the, what is it, the chain and the star, if anybody can do right by all of that, it definitely would be Gang Starr. And it's not like any individual would have more on the line to make sure that it is fired than Preemo. So I'm interested to hear, if there is more material in the vault, and if a new project could come out, and definitely to see which guys from today, would make the cut and appear on the project. One thing that I mentioned the other day on another clip that was more boxing driven was a cut by Dame. I might have even deleted this. I might not even posted this because of what I was talking about. I didn't like it at the end, so I might have deleted that one. But I wanted to call out a song called Set in Stone by producer Dame Grease, and I think he's from Massachusetts, Terminology, and Method Man. Set in Stone. Some really dope production by Dame Grease. For those that know, Dame Grease came out with the arrival of It's Dark and Hell It's Hot, with DMX's debut album on Def Jam. He was one of the producers on there, the bigger contributors. Had some of my favorite moments on the project, and he's a guy whose sound I've always really appreciated, but he's never really quite blown. He didn't go on to do the same volume of work as Swizz Beatz, but I liked his style. I liked his production style. Well, his production on this one is just phenomenal, man. I mean, piano keys, nice slick drum track. It actually sounds very Preemo-esque, to be honest with you. But Terminology, I don't know if you're familiar with that cat. A hard worker. He's another guy. I don't know if he ever blows up, but he is in my opinion, he's one of the guys that I would coin as a professional lyricist. He's gonna give you the most on every track that he's on. He can hold his own. He's done features with every big time artist, East Coast wise, that you could imagine. Great delivery. Just a very skilled dude. Just hasn't been able to break through. And gets top-notch production from Static Selector. They hang out quite a bit. They collaborate quite a bit. His verse is solid, but Method Man is the star. Delivers the star power on the track when his name is, in the lineup. He's gonna be a guy that overshines people just basically on his name and reputation. But Meth comes in, and I've always said this, man. Meth, to me, his shortcoming, while he's one of my favorites, the shortcomings of his career on a bigger scale, I just think has been his choice of producers and his choice of tracks. I don't feel like RZA ever put him out there with the best consistently for an album. I don't think he ever really gave him the best tracks to really showcase him. You saw when he went over and got with Redman, the sound that they created under, with E. Sermon at the helm. But I say all this to say, Method Man in Method Man's feature game, when he goes over to work with other producers and appear on cuts with other individuals, the collabos and whatnot, he's a very formidable presence. And I just always appreciate that about Meth. So check that out, Set in Stone, and then This Bad Name. And shouts to quality hip hop coming out. I hadn't heard anything full length wise or solo albums here, anything that really caught my ear in the last couple of weeks. I do think there might be this this joint with Apollo Brown out of Detroit. A whole bunch of Midwest and Detroit-based artists, I believe, are what's on there. I haven't dug into that one yet because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Projects that are like compilation albums with just a bunch of dudes rhyming who I don't know their voices, I don't know their catalogs, I don't know much of their solo, bodies of work. Sometimes it's very hit and miss for me. I don't get to keep up with everything. I don't really get a large stretch of day to day to just sit and listen to music like I did in high school and in college and whatnot, or while I was in the service. So hopefully I'll sample that. I'll skim through that project and see what's on there. I can't even remember the name of it right now, but I know Apollo Brown is definitely one of my. To me, he's one of the offspring or offshoots of the Premier style of beat making, and for him to be from the Midwest is extreme. Here where I am is extremely dope, and I'm gonna get an ear on that as soon as possible. I know it's got to be 2 or 3 tracks that are just ridiculous in terms of the production. So I know that's facts. So let me get on out of here, man. Enjoy those joints for my boxing people who might have made it this far. I think boxing gets started tonight on the ESPN platforms. That might be the Plus at like 7 p.m. Eastern time. And this is all in support of tonight's main event, which is a light heavyweight unification fight between IBF light heavyweight champion Artur Beterbiev and WBC light heavyweight champion Alexander Vojdik at Leocore Center in I think that's Temple University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So tons to do tonight. Let me get on out of here, man. Have a great one.